Good morning, everyone, to our LinkedIn Live, where we're talking about cybersecurity careers and how they are for everyone. I'm here with Sammy Basu and Elon Ramirez. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good
Good morning.
morning.
Good. Well, let's get into it. Cybersecurity is for everyone. Let me get to this little present button. We're going to talk about jobs that you didn't know existed, kind of the background that people need to be in cybersecurity. 1 second. See, I am not the tech person yet. I still am with cybersecurity. I am literally case in point. So cybersecurity is for everyone. Cybersecurity is more than just tech. There is a growing demand, as we all know, for cybersecurity experts, widespread importance that many industries are now requiring cybersecurity protection. And it's not just about tech, because cybersecurity is also about understanding human behavior. So there is a growing demand for cybersecurity professionals, as we just discussed. Over 60% of companies have unfilled cybersecurity positions, but only 11% of cybersecurity professionals come from a computer science background. That stat intrigues me. Cybersecurity entry points for professionals. I think this is where I should pass it off to the cybersecurity expert himself, Sammy.
Hello. Thank you, Alyssa, for calling me a cybersecurity expert.
I call it like it is.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have 3 points here. First is domain knowledge. What we mean by that, let's say you're a financial auditor for a bank, and then you join a cybersecurity team and you are part of the organization that is running a cybersecurity risk assessment for a bank. Now, you know how a day-to-day looks like in a bank. You know where customers are coming in, where the data is being saved, where checks are getting approved. So you know the business flow. And now you know where things can go wrong based on your domain knowledge. And now you apply the cybersecurity filter is here are the weaknesses. This is where a hacker can potentially exploit my lack of security controls. So domain knowledge is super important, whether you are an insurance agent or a financial banker or a lawyer. You can come into cybersecurity with this business background. The second one is hacker mindset. So a personal story here. I used to live in Austin, Texas, working for EA Sports. And we used to have a little gathering at this bar, which was run by H.D. Moore, who was the founder of Metasploit. And all these hackers would come in from different locations in Texas, and then they would talk about the ultimate hacks, like they were hacking phones, they were hacking like everything. And just being with them helped me understand how they think. When they look at something, they're trying to find out the weakness, not from a malicious perspective, but from a curiosity perspective. So hacker mindset is super important when you're in cybersecurity. The third one is social engineering. It's something our moms used to do to us when we were kids. What were you doing? And then you're like, no, I was doing something else. And then they eventually find out, and now our wives do that to us, our partners. But it's like how you can have a conversation with people and have them share their internal information. Now, hackers are using these techniques to divulge information from business users. So case in point, the recent MGM hack, where social engineering was used to impersonate a user. So just being aware of that is also a good skill set slash mindset for a cybersecurity professional.
Thank you so much for that. I
Mhm.
love that bar story. Um, and then you breaking into cybersecurity with alternative backgrounds. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? How there's creativity involved? You talked about a little bit about that with, banking, and you need to know your own domain.
Yeah, I think the reason the hackers are winning is because they are more creative than the security professionals who look at it as a 9 to 5 job. They come in with their list of things to do, they execute them, they feel they are done. But the hackers are like always trying to be one step ahead of all this, structured approach. So you have to apply that creativity when you are trying to defend your organization as well. You cannot take a structured approach. A structured approach establishes the framework, but then you have to learn to think outside of the box. And then you use your life experience and the situations you have been in, which talks about the diversity in experience, and then think about how you were able to solve problems in real life. So the point is, be yourself, trust yourself, because that is what makes you a good cybersecurity professional.
Love that. And here we go. In cybersecurity, the best defense is a diversity of minds. Securing cyberspace, our diverse professionals at work. Elon, I'd love to hear from you and how you think having a diverse team really helps strengthen cybersecurity practices.
Yeah, so having a diverse team from, many different aspects of security and IT and across the company is super helpful when trying to implement, cybersecurity controls. Oftentimes you'll be talking to, multiple departments at a time. So, everyone has to be on the same page and follow, the proper procedures and policies that we set in place. And it's important to have, experts in each of their, like Sammy mentioned, each of their domains, finance, HR, legal, like, oh, something like this control might not be, it might not work as well because, we have this kind of process. It's like, okay, we're going to need to change our process a bit in this way. So, that's where communication between these groups and teams across the business are super vital in that sense. And, overall, it's just good to have proper cybersecurity hygiene, like patching regularly, strong passwords, MFA, wherever possible. These types of things will prevent, a lot of cybersecurity breaches just doing those simple things.
Yeah, and a lot of this stuff is very trainable. I mean, even my parents now, have a basic understanding of cybersecurity, so you don't need a tech background to implement these good hygiene practices. Transferable skills in cybersecurity, essential qualities for success. Security doesn't mean sacrificing convenience. And cybersecurity is only as strong as the weakest link. Again, talking about training. So 86% of cybersecurity job postings require communication skills, as Elon, you were saying about that communication and diverse workforce. Effective communication is essential to the success of these teams. It's important for professionals and experts like you guys to explain the technical concepts to non-technical people like me. 75% of cybersecurity incidents require critical thinking skills. Critical thinking involves analyzing situations, identifying potential threats and vulnerabilities, and then developing creative solutions. 92% of these jobs also require analytical skills, kind of going back to that critical skills thing. Professionals in cybersecurity need to be able to analyze large amounts of data to identify potential threats and vulnerability. This involves using tools and techniques to analyze data, identify patterns and trends, and develop insights that can help prevent cyber attacks. Do either of you gentlemen want to expand on any of these facts?
I think for the first point, Elon is a master. people, he has a way of communicating with people, and people naturally, want to work with him. So communication skills is super important. Critical thinking skills, it's again kind of trusting yourself to a certain extent, and reading the news, observing the attacks that are happening across the industry, and then kind of interpolating in how it can affect your clients. And analytical skills, I have been accused of being very analytical, and I take that accusation with pride, because it is a diligent checklist of activities that every cybersecurity professionals need to go through. So like, for example, you're going for an oil change. The person has to check whether your brakes are good, whether your tires have pressure, whether there's a dashboard engine light on, and all this like 22-point checklist from Jiffy Lube. Or similarly, a cybersecurity professional has to analyze all the data so then they can identify anomalies. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Sure.
So we've talked about what's needed in a cybersecurity career, how it's not just for tech people. It is about a lot of that communication, that creativity. That just makes so much sense to me. So your path to cybersecurity success, there's certifications to get, obviously, education, and then networking. Sammy is a networking king. Do you want to talk about any of these steps to, if people want to get into cybersecurity and might have been scared before watching this LinkedIn Live?
Yeah. I mean, networking, just hang around with other cybersecurity professionals. If you're in Los Angeles, there is ISSA, ISACA, ISC Square, OASP, and I'm sure there is one group like this in your town as well. Just interact with these people, and it kind of demystifies cybersecurity for you. Understand their challenges. Education is always good. Good news or bad news, if you're in cybersecurity, education never stops. And then certifications provide a framework so that your knowledge is not just in one area, but across the board.
Yeah, that's great. I love surrounding yourself with people who know it so it doesn't seem as scary. To improve is to change, to be perfect is to change often. That continuing education. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Elon, for providing your insight. We have some more of these LinkedIn Lives coming up. Next week is actually a live Q&A. So if this kind of whetted your appetite for cybersecurity questions, we will be giving the answers next week. Same time, same place. See you guys soon. Thank you all for joining and watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.